Well, I was going to say good morning, but I guess it's actually good afternoon, isn't it? And it's been a long day already. I really appreciate the opportunity to be able to come before what I really consider my peers, because I think when you've spent 15 years as a classroom teacher, you are always a teacher at heart. You've been in the trenches and you know what it's like. I have no aspirations in politics. I don't need a job, but I think that the people of Oklahoma and the children of Oklahoma deserve a champion, and that's what I pledge to be for the children and the schools and the communities that serve the children of Oklahoma. As we said, I taught in a rural school. It was K-8, multiple grades, and then ended up teaching just the 8th grade, coaching, being the assistant principal, chief cook and bottle wash, grant writer. You guys know how that goes. And then I taught in Pauls Valley and also in Lexington. And from there, went to the University of Oklahoma, where I taught in the College of Education for 9 years. And it was there that I had a young student named Kim Henry. And one of the things I've tried to do my entire career is mentor young women. And so she was one of my mentees, and that's how she ended up being my campaign chair. And I'm happy to say that her daughter, Lainey Gotch, is my campaign manager. So it's kind of become a family affair. Though I'm running as a Democrat, I say to everyone that no student ever asked my political party. I never asked theirs or their parents, and I didn't care. All they cared was, do you care about me, and can you help me be successful? So I stand before you as a Democrat that has my only allegiance is to the children of Oklahoma. Thank you. I've done thousands of teachers' workshops, and probably some of you have been in some of those workshops. I've written curriculum. My master's degree is in secondary education. My PhD is in instructional leadership and academic curriculum. I've written curriculum for a number of states, analyzed curriculum, and it's come in handy, particularly over the past 3 years, I would say. I was a dean at Oklahoma City University of STEM education when I started working with some educated youth through a grant that I wrote there. And I got to know these young people in the 23rd Street area, which is the highest crime area in Oklahoma City. I got to know about their younger brothers and sisters who were in gangs or being shot. And I also saw these young people who were educated get back into their families, get into career tech, into high school, and be successful. So when the inner city charter schools were announced for Oklahoma, I did what any good educator would do. I saw a need, and I rented space in the old Shepherd Mall. And for the past 14 years, I've worked with high poverty, high diverse students. We have 98% poverty in our school. We have 95% diversity, but we have one of the highest graduation rates in the state. And in any given year, 93 to 97% of our students will go on either to college through scholarships, or they will go into career tech, and by the time they finish career tech with us, they have a certificate and are able to work. We provide a clothes closet, food pantry, wraparound services, because I have a lot of students who have parents who are incarcerated, as I'm sure you do as well, since we incarcerate so many women and men in the state of Oklahoma. But the majority of my career has been spent in a traditional public school. In Oklahoma, we right now have very, very strong charter schools. Now, some would call it weak, those people that want to spread them into the rural areas. But we consider them strong because they're only intended for the inner city, where there is limited space, where the district does not have the room for our students, where they receive 42% of the funding, the ad valorem, transportation, and so forth, and have none of the overhead of those students. And we have a very good relationship with our school sponsors, which is Oklahoma City Public Schools. I do want to spend a few minutes talking to you about what my platform is. First and foremost, it's to attract and retain high-quality teachers and administrators. And we are only going to do that by giving a decent raise to the teachers of Oklahoma. And when I learned from my good friend at the OU College of Education, Greg Garn, that the research they did, this was about 2 years old, that a teacher or student there was graduating with a $36,000 debt for a $31,600 starting salary. I've told that all over the state and everyone that I can speak to. I do want to go back just a minute to also tell you, and some of you may have seen the press release that I put out, because the charter schools, the inner city charter schools, do not support Senate Bill 573. I have had somebody at the Capitol for the last week fighting and lobbying and telling the legislators on both sides of the aisle that this is not a good thing. I believe it is about money and it's not about children. I believe it's about bringing private groups in to Oklahoma, and I know because I see the people that are involved, and believe me, I've had my arm twisted, and I stand by. It is not appropriate to have charter schools in anywhere except in the inner city where there is overcrowding and high poverty, high diverse groups. So we will continue to fight that fight and to keep, can I say money grubbers? To keep the money grubbers out of education, because this should be about children and not about money. And if it smells like it's about money, then we all need to stand up and we need to have our voices heard, and we need to write emails and contact our legislators and senators to make sure that our voice is heard. I want to go back now to my first priority about teachers and administrators. I'd like to see really leaders from the teaching ranks recruited into the administrative areas so that teachers can have instructional leaders that know about instruction, that have spent some time in the classroom and can help teachers, whether they're young or experienced, to be successful. I think also to retain our teachers, we're going to have to get rid of those mandates, and every single one of them. Now, I am for high standards, and that's my second priority, and that is that we maintain high standards and accountability in Oklahoma, but the A to F doesn't do that. In fact, I looked at my principal. The first day I read through that 32 pages of how to calculate the score, and I said to her, you know, if a student of mine at OU turned this in as a research paper, I would have had to give them an F. And it's absolutely true. There's no, it has no sound research, no validity or reliability, and I don't have to tell you because I'm speaking to the choir. The testing and the constant testing debacle that we face, where we have students that have to log in as many as 13 times and then sit there for an hour until we get word from the State Department that it's okay for them to go forward, is totally unacceptable. It's unacceptable to use our children also to test a company's equipment, and I have a lot to say about that, but I only have 2 minutes, and I can really get on a roll about these things. That ESEA, which was, as we know, is the No Child Left Behind rebranded, can be rewritten, and that will certainly be a priority. When I get to the State Department also, the first thing I'm going to do is, you know those glass walls in there? Those are going to all come down. And we're going to have an open house, like there's never been an open house before, welcoming the educators, parents, administrators, and the folks that that office belongs to. We are also going to have a course in the Ritz-Carlton's customer service model, and learn how to answer the telephones and be polite to the people that we serve. As you can see, I've been on fire, and when folks first started coming to me asking me to run, I said, oh, surely somebody that's got the passion. You know, I've got a great school, these kids need me. And as things continued, I realized that those students may not have a public school to attend, nor my new grandbaby that was born 2 weeks ago would have the opportunity to go to a high-quality public school. So I am fighting the fight. I am not afraid to stand up and speak to our legislators, and I think we can do it without screaming and yelling and threatening and name-calling, but to appeal to them in common sense, using real examples, because I can give those examples because I have the depth and the breadth of experience, and I'm not afraid to stand up to any of them, and I will be a dripping water for them on your behalf, because that's what the State Superintendent of Public Instruction should be doing. So number one, attract and retain high quality educators. Two is about accountability, and the third, and they're giving me the sign, the third is retaining local control. And my name again is Freda Deskin. I push your chair in your desk in. I need your vote, I need your support. Our students need Deskin at the State Department of Education. Thank you.